First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dukden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Mahajundi Buddha Mother, the most victorious Vajra, Tsumo, Danchen Katso, Tutan City, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do? Ling-ling. Konbanwa. This evening, we had the group practice of Mahajundi Buddha Mother. And her Vajra name is the most victorious Vajra. This deity has infinite majestic power, and you would know from her Vajra name. So we hope that this deity can, by her formidable majestic power and the greatest blessing and all the Dharma implements on her hands, that we can deliver the calamities of sentient beings this time. The pandemic has lasted over 1 year, so we hope that according to the premonition before, that within 2 years we will be able to eradicate the pandemic completely. We pray to the most victorious Vajra, Mahajundi Buddha Mother, to be compassionate upon sentient beings, so that all the pandemic can be completely eradicated, so that we have pure land on earth again. before the Dharma teaching, we would like to share a joke first. Today is Xiaoming's birthday. Dad asked him what birthday gift he would like to have. And Xiaoming was resolute in telling his dad, I want a new mom. I don't want this mom who beats me and scolds me every day. And Xiaoming's dad replied, Xiaoming, you said it, what I don't even dare to think. Something that I don't even dare to think. You said it. This joke is not so funny. Let me share another joke. A gentleman said, my wife is very lucky, and when she buys lotteries, she would win. When she buys stocks, it goes up in price. Whatever she does, she wins. Yesterday, my wife bought me an accidental insurance. So this gentleman said, I will die this time. Now we will do the question and answer. You ask and I answer. From Guam, Lu-Ling the Reverend, beloved Grandmaster Amitabha. Recently, your disciple in Guam, Lu-Ling carefully read your book 272, Touch of the Pristine Light. There written a dialogue between His Holiness and Jesus. Grandmaster asked, Jesus, do you love your enemies? Jesus replied, yes, I do. Because they do not know what they are doing. This is what Jesus said on the cross. Because they do not know what they are doing. That's what Jesus said when he was on the cross. I thought this line of reasoning is very special. Jesus was able to love the people who crucified him because Jesus knew they did not know what they were doing. However, toward those who incited the authority and spiritual leaders to execute Jesus, did Jesus also love the spiritual leaders? Why? It was also love. What kind of love? Please resolve my question. Jesus died on the cross, and he was wearing a crown. crown was made from thorn branches, and the shoulder put this crown upon him. Because he called himself a Messiah, so a Messiah should have a crown. So he especially made a crown of thorns for Jesus so that he bleed from it. He bled from it. And he was nailed onto a cross. The two palms was nailed, and also the 2 feet together was nailed too, and the pain and the bleeding until he died. I truly admire Jesus' spirit, the spirit of Jesus. And on the cross he even said, because they did not know what they were doing. Therefore, he still loved them. So this answer, Lien Tao asked, how about toward those who incited the authority and spiritual leaders to execute Jesus? Did Jesus also love the spiritual leaders? Yeah, all the same. Whether the Roman soldiers or the spiritual leaders, because they were not aware of what they were doing. Even the spiritual leaders, in Jesus' view, they did not know. So the judge, now we refer to him as a judge, the judge who prosecuted Jesus to be crucified. When I studied the Bible, I think it was called, what was his name? Philip. It's like a judge to crucify him, to crucify Jesus. He said, I don't know. So after he made his judgment, he washed his hands to signify that this was not related to him. Because many people wanted to crucify Jesus. He said Pontius Pilate was like a judge. He knew that was not the case, but everybody wanted Jesus dead, so he let it happen, but afterwards he washed his hands. I think, according to what I know, he's Pontius Pilate. When Jesus was about to be captured, the last prayer of Jesus to his Father in heavens, just one statement. For they do not know what they are doing. for they do not know what they are doing. So I truly admire the spirit of Jesus. So Silian Tao asked, what kind of love did Jesus have? So of course he loved the spiritual leaders too. And the reason, because they do not know what they are doing. When Jesus was suffering, there was a Roman soldier that was carrying a long gun. And when he saw Jesus was suffering, he was kind. He was kind-hearted. So he used his long gun so that Jesus does not does not suffer too much from the slow bleeding. He stabbed his pike, like long pikes, onto Jesus' body, so he would die sooner. You know about this, right? Like a spear. If you went to Italy and the cathedral there, you would see the statue of this Roman soldier who stepped on Jesus. He was referred as a sage, that Roman soldier, so that Jesus would die sooner, because his mindset was kind, because he wanted to lessen the suffering of Jesus on the cross so that he would die sooner. Have you seen that statue? Have you been to the Roman Catholic cathedral in Italy and see the statue? Anyone that's been to Italy? Did you see that statue? I remember the guide explained it to us when I went to Italy. At the Vatican. At the Vatican in Italy. And then we went to a restaurant. It turned out it was owned by a Troubadour school disciple in Italy. So very simple answer to Silian Tao. Because people in the world do not know what they are doing. So we should be empathetic toward the perpetrators and should love them. So Jesus' love is different from everybody else. 4 words. That's why God loves people. He loves every single one. No exception. He loves people who praise Him, and He also loves people who defames or slanders Him. So I I refer to Jesus as Grandmaster Lu's guru. And this is the point, because I'm learning the spirit of Jesus in this life. Up till now, what I learned in 2 words: gratitude toward any single being. I'm very grateful. Someone who harms you behind your back or slanders you or wants to kill you, and you are still grateful. This is what I have learned, the spirit of Jesus. We want to be grateful to all of them. If today Grandmaster is killed, would you hate that person? No, you cannot. Why? Because I've lived to be 77. And to be killed by that person, I'm very happy. Why? I'm happy because human lives are suffering. So he made me leave the human world sooner, so I should be grateful. Even if I'm killed by him, I'm all still grateful to him, because human world is full of suffering. We thought about 4 major sufferings. One of them is aging or old age, and Grandmaster is old aged now, and Confucius died at 73. So Confucius is an old man. So 73 is considered old man, but I am 77 already. So at this time, if someone kills Grandmaster, I would love him, because he made me leave the human world sooner. That's a good thing, because human life is full of suffering. Don't you think old age is suffering? In the past, my mom and I were climbing on the mountains behind the Rainbow Villa, and my mom climbed very slowly and I did it very fast. And halfway up, I was waiting for her, and as she got up, I asked my mom, "How come you were so slow?" And my mom just said, "You would know once you reach old age. Once you're old, you would know." Now I'm 77, and I know now. So old is suffering, and before death is also suffering. Birth is suffering, and being sick is the most suffering. That's why I really admire Simu. I very respect Simu and admire her. With her health, her body like that, she's still doing school works, still taking care of the affairs of the school. If I had been Simu, I would have quit. I don't have such persistence, and she's so persistent. I've never seen anyone with such strong willpower. If it had been me, I would not write anymore. I would not climb on this Dharma throne. I would stop all the work and I would just go up the mountain and raise pigs. I would stop and retire long ago. And writing articles, giving Dharma teachings. But her health, her body, if it had been me, and because I'm a Buddhist, I cannot kill myself. If I had not studied Buddhism, I would have killed myself. Really. So Jesus was magnanimous, was truly magnanimous. Simu too is mighty, and I'm just minuscule and small. So I learned the spirit of Jesus. Anyone who slanders me, destroying Grandmaster Lu, I would save them. I will to deliver them. The second question from Malaysia. Show me. Yi. It's a family name Yi. How do you pronounce that? Sir, right? It's like Yi, but from Malaysia. Guidance from the deities in dreams or one's own psychic power can help avoid troubles and resolve problems. But Grandmaster, does this move karma? Does this touch karma? If we touch other people's karma, we will be punished. But what if we move our own karma? Will there be punishment? Thank you, Grandmaster, for your compassionate advice. She said that guidance from the deities in dreams, or one has one's own psychic power, avoided troubles and resolve problems. Did this touch karma? If touching other people's karma, we will be punished. How about touching or moving our own karma? Will there be punishment? And remember, this thing happened. One time, Ananda told Sakyamuni Buddha, "Now I understand karma, cause and effect." And Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda, you understand karma? That's only surface. You're still a kindergarten. All you know is the kindergarten of karma. What karma do you understand? Let me tell you, the Buddha said, there are many inconceivables, and one of them, he talked about the karma. The karma is inconceivable. Unfathomable. Dream guidance or psychic power will not change karma, because that's how karma is. Karma is like that. It's very difficult to talk about karma. I got married with Simu. There's cause and effect in there. Simu's mom came to ask about Simu's marriage prospect, and I told them she will get married at 26, and Golden Mother told me that I will get married at 30, and told the mom that she will get married at 26. And my girlfriend then, family name was Liu, and I told this Liu, you find another 3 girls and I'll find 3 boys, and we go outings together. And my classmates, Lu, Xu, and Fu, and she brought Simu, Lu, and Liang. So 3 of us and 3 of them. We went outings together, and my girlfriend was the one with Liu family name. I will not want the one with family name Lu. It was like this. The Fu and Xu to be a couple, and the Fu and Liang as a couple, I and Liu as a couple, and Xu and Simu to be a couple. So 3 couples to go for outings. So then we were in contact, and the man with family name Xi did not court successfully Simu, and Xing Fu and Xing Liang also, and the Fu and Liang also did not get together. And then one day, when I was 30 years old, I was playing basketball, and I heard someone said, So Yan Lu, still not married till now, and he's already 30. So he must have some biological problem, or sexual problem. I got my temper raised up. It's easy for me to get married. And Simu's mom asked about her marriage, and she's 26 now, I'm 30, so okay, I'll just marry her. So that's karma. How could someone with family name Lu marries another Lu? Because there are not that many people with Lu last name. Why do I want to marry another one with the same family name? I cannot say that I just do it as I like. But I am like that. If I want to get married, I want to get married. And I thought, well, she's 26, I'm 30. So I started visit her house. Every time I went, I would bring her some gifts. You know, gifts are very useful. When you visit someone, you should bring gifts. Then everybody would be nice to you and would like you. That's cause and effect. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to get married. I did not want to get married. So everything is coincidences, and that's karma. That's also karma. So no punishment. As long as you're a true Buddhist disciple, then dreams, guidance in dreams and transcendent power will not destroy karma. Question from Singapore, family name Liao. About the destruction of the earth, will it ever get better? Or will it get worse? Is there a Buddha's power to turn it back? The scientists predicted that global warming causes the glacier in Greenland and South Pole to melt, so that the sea level has risen, which will bury some parts of the seaside countries or areas. Can this be diverted? Can we use the Buddha's power to turn it back? This is cause and effect. He's also talking about cause and effect. In the past, people works when the sun rises and rests when the sun sets. That's the agricultural era. Everybody's like that. You start to work as the sun rises and you rest as the sun sets. And no one knew that there was industrial revolution. And as the technology is progressing, is it good or bad? It's hard to say. That's why Lao Tzu said, don't give intelligence to human beings, just let them be dumb. Let them worry for their 3 meals a day, whether they work in the fields or laborers. Then in the human society, everything would be peace. But when human beings are too smart, Confucius said, this and because today you invented computers, that's why we have hackers. And today, because thinkers have different ideologies, capitalism, socialism, terrorism. That's why we have terrorists. And because of the Industrial Revolution and advanced science and technology, that we have this global warming. So humanity destroys itself. Inflicted upon themselves. They destroy themselves. That's cause and effect. So global warming and the temperature difference is getting bigger and bigger. The Greenland, the largest island in the north. Think about the Industrial Revolution and the advanced technology. Of course, there are lots of benefits too. However, the negative effects are too great. And humanity is destroying themselves. So if you read Lao Tzu philosophy, you would know that human beings should be very simple and stupid and ignorant, and they shouldn't be given intelligence. Lao Tzu is like God. God did not want Adam and Eve to eat that apple of knowledge. By having the knowledge, human beings start to commit, to create sins. Otherwise, the heavens would have been marvelous. Everybody is naked anyway. You just have fun. No knowledge. What use are those knowledge for anyway? So Lao Tzu said, if you human beings only works as the sun rises and rests as the sun sets, and they only understand about farming and construction, that's good enough. As for the industrial revolutions and advanced technology and strong military power would be harmful to human beings. So human beings should not have knowledge or intelligence. So is there a Buddha's power to turn it back? This is humanity destroying themselves. Problems they created. You know, look at Independence Days. Which country would not show their military power? I've said it, right? So why are you showing off your military power? You should have like a carnival or parades, float parades, pole dancing, or even strip tease and parade for the independence celebration. But why are you showing off military men and fighter planes, missiles and weaponries and everything that would destroy humanity? If I had been the leader of the nation, I would have a nice parade where everybody is performing striptease. Even if I were a monk, I would also dance the striptease for everybody instead. So that's peace, right? When you have peace on earth, then it would be like that. But you don't want peace. Instead, you want the murderous weapons to show off. So human beings are creating this for themselves. Therefore, to use Buddha Dharma to revert, now Grandmaster is giving Dharma teaching, is in the hope that this tiny small power of an ant to revert. Is it possible? How many of them understand this? How many people will understand? Human beings suffer from their own action. They invented all the murderous weaponry that would kill people, human beings. The scientists went to the space. When for what? To space exploration. People think about they want to have a trip to the moon or to the planets and to build the Grand Hilton there, and I can earn money on the moon and you can come, all the spaceships coming, visiting, and I can earn money by opening the Grand Hilton Hotel on the moon. But once you earn the money, where can you spend it on the moon? What use is the money? When human beings are too smart, this kind of smart actually is overly stupid, overly dumb. So so human beings create all this for themselves. And Grandmaster knows very well, but I only have the power of a small ant to turn it back. Grandmaster is already doing it, but it's only the power of an ant. Anybody listens to me? No. Answer to Liao from Singapore. So it also complies to what's written in the sutra, that creation, the abiding, destruction and emptiness. So the earth forms and then living beings on it, and then it's become destroyed and then become empty. It cannot be reverted because human beings, humanity, destroy the earth themselves. Now we talk about Lamdre. Last night, I dreamt that the moon matchmaker turned over the pages for his own prediction, and it said, avoid it. Nowadays, women are very very attractive and gorgeous. But once they get home, they take off everything and just walk around. If I didn't have a telescope, I would have known that women are so relaxed and so negligent or casual. A farmer found a monkey up the mountain and caught it and put a leash on it and took the monkey to the police station and asked the policeman, what should I do? And the policeman said, why don't you take him to the zoo? And the second day, the policeman still saw him walking around with the monkey, and I asked him, didn't I ask you to take him to the zoo? And the farmer said, yes, I went to the zoo yesterday, but today I went to take him to the movies. Did you understand? Now we'll expound on Lamdre. Also, seeing one's own, each skin pore blessed by the same interest, in quotes, the origin of the lotus, the place of bliss, like a flock of geese gathering, the dakinis abiding in vows come from afar and give blessings, end quote. The verse in quotes, the arising, Hari, Ma, etc., the 8 self-masteries, end quote, from all the zealous life energy of the 2 channels enters our duty and generates 8 verification signs. They are fine, light, subtle, doable, with great self-nature, joyous, harmonizing everything, and able to obtain what is desired, etc., for a total of 8 self-masteries. It talks about Hari, which means very fine. And Awatuti means central channel. The primary basis is the mind, Vajra, 3 self-masteries, the body, Vajra, 3 self-masteries, and the speech, Vajra, 2 self-masteries, for a total of 8 self-masteries. The mind, Vajra, 3 self-masteries are fine, and the so-called black marks, the realm of the mind, refers to seeing the merits of the fundamental nature abiding at the central channel. At this moment, the life zealous chi also enters central channel, and nirvana, rebirth, and everything are seen inside the central channel. Light refers to the wisdom chi. Its power is omnipresent in the cosmos. It can be seen in a split of a second through divine transformation. And subtle, the mind chi enters the central channel. Its power can merge everything else into the empty nature. This is also the mind Vajra self-masteries. So typically speaking, the 7th ground Bodhisattva up to the 10th ground Bodhisattva, and I've said it, when we reach 12th ground, which is when the 5 chakras all open, and plus the crown chakra and the top knot chakra, that's then you reach 12.5 ground. For the 5 chakras to be open, you reach 10th ground, because 1 chakra 2 grounds. When you reach the crown chakra, that's 12th ground. And when the head bump opens, then you reach the 12.5 ground. When you reach the 12.5 ground, in Mahayana Buddhism, it's considered Buddha long ago. But in Tantrayana, the 13th ground, Buddhahood only after 13th ground. So the 7 Buddhas up above belong to the 13th ground. So that's how he explained it. Seeing one's own each and every skin pore blessed by the same interest. So blessings without diverting from the correct Dharma. The origin of the lotus, the bliss of bliss, like a flock of geese gathering, the Dakinis abiding in vows, come from afar and give blessings. So the Dakinis have made vows to help sadhakas, and they all will appear, come from afar and give blessings. The lotus origin, the place of bliss, like a flock of geese gathering. You know, in the lotus pond, there are lots of cranes who would swim to where the lotuses are, and they would gather at the roots of the lotus. It's the praise. The lotus origin, the place of bliss, like a flock of geese gathering. The Dakinis abiding in vows come from afar and give blessings. If you can reach the 12.5 ground, then all the Dakinis with vows would come. The verse, the arising Hali, of very fine 8 kinds of self-masteries. Let me talk about one of them. We have read Vimalakirti Sutra, right? And Vimalakirti's room was very small. However, when he gathered all the Dharma thrones, there was a Buddha that was in charge of all the Dharma thrones. A Buddha inside the High King Kuan Yin Sutra. So, there's Mount Meru, Lamb King Buddha. At his place, he has all the Dharma thrones for all the Buddhas. And Vimalakirti's room was small, and he asked the Mount Meru Light King Buddha to bring all the Dharma thrones into his room. It's a very small room, how could it fit? But he was able to move all the Dharma thrones into his room, and they will all become so fine and so tiny and fill his whole room. one of the 8 self-masteries. Fine. From all the life energy of the 2 channels enter our Ditu central channel and generates 8 verification signs. They are fine, light, subtle, doable, with great self-nature, joyous, harmonizing everything, and able to obtain what is desired, for a total of 8 kinds of self-masteries. So when you have attainment and reach 12.5 ground, then you would have these 8 self-masteries. Naturally, you would have them. Very simple. The primary basis is the mind, Vajra, 3 self-masteries. The body, Vajra, 3 self-masteries. And the speech, Vajra, 2 self-masteries. For a total of 8 self-masteries. And the mind, Vajra self-masteries are fine. The so-called black marks, the realm of the mind, refers to seeing the merits of the fundamental nature abiding at the central channel. At this moment, the life-zealous chi also enters central channel. Rebirth, nirvana, and everything are seen inside the central channel. So rebirth and nirvana can appear inside the central channel. And this is the explanation. 12.5 ground. You will be able to attain the 8 self-masteries, like Vimalakirti. Like he invited all the Dharma thrones and Manjushri Bodhisattva and all the people listening to him can get onto the Dharma thrones and did not feel the room was small. But his room was very small. But it can transform into as big as heaven and earth. So that's a kind of self-mastery. From small to become extremely huge. And the big one can become extremely small or even finer. So Buddha Dharma is really amazing. In the needle, at the head of the needle, there would be a country. So at the head of a needle, there's a country. Can you believe that? You can make the country to become so tiny that can be placed at the head of a needle. So of course the transcendent power of Buddha's Bodhisattvas are incredible. And the disciple asks about our earth, if we can revert it back. But in the eyes of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, what do you think the earth is? You go to the shore of Lake Sammamish and just use your hand and catch some sands. And that sands in your palm are thousands of earth. So why? How can you turn back the earth? So just one grain of sand? How do you turn it back, right? For what? For what? There's no need. So the earth is like a grain of sand. So how about a human being? So think about it. Sometimes once you become a Buddha and you reach the 12.5 ground, and then when you look at the Saha world, you will not be bothered by it at all. Will not concern it, will not. That for myself, everything is the best arrangement. So whatever I encounter, I am very light and easy. No matter what circumstances or situation I encounter, I'm not troubled or bothered by it at all. I'm very undisturbed. Because what we love most in the earth is also the smallest one. And the one we don't have anything we dislike. Because Buddhas and Bodhisattvas love sentient beings. Even the Devas, Devis also love sentient beings. So many things are created by human beings themselves. Or naturally occurring, like COVID-19. A very simple concept. Let me ask everyone, why do people research the virus? Why? What for? There weren't any virus before, but why do you research them? To make money? You make money by researching the virus? Do you know what money is? Just paper. If everybody recognizes this as money, then our Vajrasattva's will fall. So only if everybody recognizes this as money, then it would be money. Otherwise, it's just paper. Human beings are too dumb. And because of the stupidity of human beings, I really don't want to live on. That's all for today.